One of the big criticisms of this whole thing is that how can SAR scan technology reach that deep? I would like to read to you some comments from a gentleman called Manu Saifzadeh. I hope I said his name right. He has the best explanation that I could find regarding this, and it's a nice, well-rounded, well thought out explanation. So here we go. So he starts by recognizing that skepticism is based on people being unable to imagine that it could penetrate deep into the ground. I'm now going to quote him word for word. He says, so how could one visualize voids as deep as 2 kilometers underground and chambers behind pyramid walls with this technique? They ask. There are several reasons to be cautious with the data interpretation, but this isn't one of them because it is not how Filippo Biondi's method works. Microwave X-band radiation around 10 gigahertz with a wavelength centered on about 3 centimeters barely penetrates the ground, less than a foot, so that's 30 centimeters. This is not the same as ground penetrating radar, and this is not how Biondi detects voids behind walls and underground. Rather, the method detects surface motion caused by resonating voids. Note, he actually provides a bit of an illustration to explain this, so I'll put that up. He goes on to say, just like in an earthquake, you either get jolted up close to the epicenter or you rock sideways when further away. By the same principle of seismic wave propagation, a synthetic aperture satellite is able to detect the movement of barely perceptible surface shivers caused by deeply buried, resonating spaces. These shivers move towards and away from the satellite and are located at various distances from the epicenter, i.e. the resonance cavity. SAR can detect at high resolution both distance, or range, and direction, the azimuth, and Biondi's invention revolves also around being able to detect a tiny Doppler effect. Think coming at or going away from a siren sound caused by these shivers, which are really ripples on the surface, caused by deep-seated resonating voids. From the pattern on the ground of these shivers, he illustrates this by making the pixels fuzzy in the drawing. He goes on to say, Biondi reconstructs the location of the void underground using specially chosen lines of pixels called tomograms. So, to sum this up, resonating voids cause a mechanical effect on the ground surface, which is being detected using an electromagnetic microwave pulse. The time it takes for the pulse to go and come back, the angle of its coming back, and the frequency shift of that which comes back versus what went out is how Biondi locates the 1 by 1 meter squares on the ground or on the pyramid walls that shiver in this way. And when you follow the shivering pattern, different lines of pixels, you can trace the energy back to its source underground. So that's the end of that quote, but he does go on in a separate post to Facebook to say the following. The method has been applied successfully in other applications where ground verification was possible. The main questions are, A, for this archaeological application, voids inside ancient buildings and underground, if this works to identify and accurately locate architectural spaces made by humans and distinguish them from natural spaces or accidental rifts. And B, if the uniqueness of the application, for example, due to the learning and stepped pyramid surfaces, still preserves the link between signal and void, or if spurious signals can be misinterpreted as voids. The way to sort this out belongs to the realm of science. where controls are used to make sure that observations of high-tech measurements truly reflect physical reality, with accuracy and precision within the limits of detection before this reality can be interpreted. Reproducibility and teamwork are also part of a sound scientific effort. We are not there yet, but we could be there once cool heads from both proponents and critics come together in a constructive manner. And in yet another brilliant post on Facebook, he goes on to say, Italy's National Particle Physics Laboratory of Gran Sasso Mountain and the Car-Free Pyramid have one thing in common. They were scanned by Filippo Biondi. How mind-blowing is that? I encourage all of you to look at the proof of principle demonstrated here using synthetic aperture radar to detect from space the outlines of the laboratory, which is 1.4 kilometers deep inside the mountain, northeast of Rome. This is a known structure that resonates gently embedded in hundreds of meters of solid Italian mountain rock. That resonance, modeled by Biondi, based on an original string oscillation mathematical model developed by American physicist Nicholas Tufellaro and published in 1988, projects surface vibrations that can be detected with Biondi's micro Doppler detection signal process. He then goes on to say, most sensibly, I hope this will calm the nerves of all those who do not understand the Biondi protocol. In fact, as far as I see it, the Biondi protocol has the potential to save many lives in nations where dam infrastructure is compromised by otherwise undetectable cracks in the masonry that can now be early detected. Unquote. And I'd like to add that it's also being used for volcanoes. So, it's amazing technology. Now, look at the diagram provided, and you can very clearly see in the Italian mountains, this building. It's clearly a square. So, if it can do this, why can it not do the pyramids of Giza?